Welcome to my review of how to make an airsoft pistol, high-powered airsoft pistol, shoots around 240 FPS out of a Nerf gun. Yes, you heard me right, this thing shoots about 240 FPS. And that is with 0.2 gram BBs. Yeah, insanely hard for a Nerf gun. Maybe not 240, yeah, about 225 with 0.2s, so that's still really hard. So first starting off with the materials, you're gonna need a Nerf Fire Strike Elite. I do have in my review, I do have show you what I've done to it to mod it. Basically, all I need to do is take out the air restrictors and the air restricting plate. So you're gonna need that modded. Must have the air restrictor removed. If it doesn't, then it won't. Well, I mean, it'll still work. It'll just be a lot lower power. You're gonna need a pen tube. I'm using just a cheap plastic barrel from a cheap BB gun that broke, but a pen tube will work just as well. I've already attached it, but you also need the whatchamacallit, a Nerf gun foam thing. You just cut the tip off of a Nerf dart. One sec here. Forgot to take this out. You'll need a small wood piece. That was focus. This is just a very small piece I cut of basswood. And this is cut with a razor blade. Exacto knife. I'm gonna measure this wood and I'll be back in a minute. The piece of wood is a 1/4 inch wide, and it should be about a 1/4 inch long too, but you can make it longer or shorter. Just don't make it too long or too short. And, so yeah, this is basswood, by the way. You're gonna need, what I recommend is 4 number 63 rubber bands. You can use different rubber bands, and you can use more or less for more or less power. But I recommend this amount with these models of rubber bands because this will give you just the right amount of power while not putting too much stress on the gun. I don't put any more rubber bands than this, usually, because that'll put too much stress on the charging handle and it could snap. You will need a bottle of super glue. One of these miniature precision screwdrivers keeps on rolling away from me. It can be Phillips head or flathead. I'm using a flathead. Doesn't really matter. This is actually a ramrod, so this it doesn't matter what head it is. You're not actually going to be doing anything with screws. Pair of needle nose pliers. A few 0.2 gram BBs. They need to be high quality BBs because low quality BBs won't compress. Because when you try to smush them with the pliers, you'll see what I'm talking about later. But low quality BBs, like 0.12, they'll just crack because they're harder plastic. This is sort of a softer, more flexible plastic. These are, by the way, Elite Force 0.2 gram BBs. I'll have a link to all the materials used in the description. I also have a link to my review of the Fire Strike in my mod guide. And last thing you'll need is a roll of Scotch tape. Keep in mind this is not a permanent mod, so you can still make it shoot Nerf darts after you've done this mod. Since this isn't really a mod, it's sort of just an attachment. First things first, starting off with the actual attachment, you're just going to connect your barrel or pen tube. You're going to stick that in the foam rod, and you're just going to super glue that. So, add some super glue around the pen tube in the area that's going to be as long as this, and then you're just going to stick it in and let that super glue dry. So the foam and the foam and the barrel are now permanently attached. Next, you're going to get small wood chip, and I'm not sure I can do this with just one hand. You're just going to stick it in the end of the barrel that has the foam around it. Don't stick it in the other end. Stick it in the end that has a foam around it. Do that real quick. I can't really do it on camera, so it's hard. Make sure it's a nice and tight fit with that 1/4 inch wood, and it should fit just like this. Very snug. Make sure it's flush. Okay? And what that acts as is your BB stop, so because I've removed the air restrictors and the barrel post, that prevents the BB from going too far, dropping through the barrel and into the plunger system. Now that your barrel assembly is complete, all you do is you grab the gun and you stick it in just like you would a normal Nerf dart. Push it in as deep as it'll go, so it's like that. There's a bit of tape on the barrel, don't worry about that. Sash made a makeshift stand out of a bottle filled with some water for my recording device. Moving on, you're going to get some tape and just attach it to this barrel and the gun to keep the barrel on. So when you shoot it, it doesn't fly off. Should something like that. Use 2 pieces, another piece, so that you can get not only more strength, but it'll keep it in place better and it'll get a better air seal. Okay, so once you have it like that, after we finish the mod, when you shoot it, you can keep shooting, get an idea for where it's pointing, and then you can adjust it, the barrel, accordingly with tape as to where it's pointing. So now moving on, get your rubber bands. These rubber bands are optional, they're for more power. I recommend at least 2 if you want to get any sort of power or range out of this, because no rubber bands isn't going to get you any range or power, so I recommend at least 2. I'm going to put 4 on for maximum power, while still not having too much stress on the gun. So the first 3, you're going to put one side here, the other side wrapped around the charging handle. I'm going to do that real quick. I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Make sure it's centered like this on the charging handle, just so that it doesn't fall off. This will make your prime weight a lot heavier, but I think it's well worth it. And the catch spring is pretty strong, so it can actually handle all this. What I found is the max is 6. If you put any more than 6, charging handle will probably snap, and you'll probably break your catch and stuff. But I only use 4 for safety. So I have 3 on. Now for the last one, you're actually going to attach it here in the charging handle, just to even out the forces. So it's not pulling the charging handle down. Okay, so once you're done, it should look something like this. On the front and on the back, like that. After each shot, make sure all your rubber bands are centered, just so they don't come flying off. Okay. Now, you're going to want to charge it once. But never keep it primed like this for long periods of time, or else not only will the rubber band snap off, you're putting a ton of stress on your charging handle. It could snap. And your catch. Like that. Make sure when you look at it from above, it's straight, so there's not more pressure on one side. If there is, you just have to even out the rubber bands, or reattach them. By the way, never dry fire like this, because the air restrictors have been removed, so that will damage your gun. So one way to prevent dry firing, you can sort of just hold the charging handle and let it go slowly, or you can just put your finger here, and that'll slow down the plunger head. Okay, next we're gonna go to the BBs. You're just gonna grab a BB. This is a 0.2 gram from Elite Force once again. Ironically, I'm using their BB bottle as my stand here. So you're just gonna, these are 6mm BBs. Gonna put that in and push a little bit, just like that, so that there's indents on the side. But you don't want to push hard, because then it'll be too big for the barrel and it'll jam. The purpose of doing this is, I see lots of people stuffing paper in to stop the BB from rolling out the barrel. I think this is more effective since you don't need anything else. You can just ram this in the barrel, but make sure it's a pretty loose fit so it won't jam, but this will keep the BB gripping the barrel so it won't fall out. And it'll also make it more accurate. So yeah, you're just gonna put it in at the end of the gun. Make sure that it goes in. It just doesn't fall all the way through really loosely. But make sure it's still pretty loose so it doesn't jam. Like if you're trying to ram it down and you feel like you're ramming a freaking flintlock, or it's like really hard to ram, then don't ram it any farther. Just try to shoot. If it's already jammed in, when you shoot, it doesn't come out, then you're just going to have to take this apart and unjam it from the other side. So yeah, just going to get your screwdriver. I recommend using this brand, this specific type. I should have a buy link in the description. Because when you use this, you have to ram it down. It'll stop it, so it prevents you from pushing on that wood and getting it all stuck in the plunger tube. So the wood will stop it. So ram it all the way down. And then you just prime it like you would any other Nerf gun and just shoot. So yeah, now I'm going to show you it firing inside, do an accuracy test. First I'll show you it firing outside and then we'll do an accuracy test. So we're just in my backyard here. This thing shoots crazy hard for what it is. It's just made out of a Nerf gun. So it shoots crazy hard. This is about 60 feet to the fence. And it can go over the fence into the tree. I won't be demonstrating that because my neighbors might get mad. But that tree is about 80 feet away. And it can hit that easily and keep going. So that's pretty crazy. This thing shoots, once again, about 225 around that neighborhood with .2s. So just show you it firing. As you can see, it hit the fence, no problem. But only had a bit of BB drop. I'll show it firing a few more times. Keep in mind, this is not the actual rate of fire of the gun, since I am cutting scenes in between, so I can like ram the BB and stuff, because you guys probably don't want to watch that. But yeah, the rate of fire is much slower than what I'm going to be showing. Prime it again here, and I dropped the BB. Whoopsies. One other thing, never try to use these mushed BBs inside a normal BB gun. They will jam. They're too big. Whoops, that went over. Dropped low. Uh-oh, went high again. This time so it doesn't go over again. There we go. So we're just gonna do a mini accuracy test here. It'll be really small and short, just 4 rounds. We're gonna see what kind of a 4-shot group we can get out of this. I've sort of zeroed it. It may be shooting a bit left, I think, but it's pretty much zeroed. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Keep in mind, accuracy is not a measure of how close it is to where you're aiming. Accuracy is a measure of how consistent it is. So if it's 5 feet off, but it hits 5 feet off every single time, then the gun is very accurate. So if you just come back here, you probably can't even hear me. So I'll be shooting from way back there, about a good 20 feet away. So let's get started. Okay, so we shot left, didn't hit the target. We shot left about a foot, maybe, of the edge of the target. That was a hit. High left. That was a hit, low left. That was a hit, direct left. So as you can see, other than the first shot, it's actually pretty consistent. All three shots within about 3-4 inches of each other. So even though I've completely zeroed it, since it's obviously shooting way left, still pretty consistent, especially for a homemade. Such a simple homemade, that is. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Bye! So hey guys, I'm really excited and happy about how this turned out. Go ahead and smash that like button if you like this video, or if you like this gun. And comment down below what other ideas you have for me. Or comment if you actually made this. Keep in mind this will also work with any other single shot Springer that has the air restrictor removed. Bye!